Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Meepleville Presents Yay or No Way. This week, we'll be discussing the social deduction game Avalon, and I am on the yay side.
Which means I'm yet again on the no way side. So let's jump into this one. So Avalon, it is a classic of the social deduction games. It's been around a long time along with the Resistance. I just feel like this one has fallen a little bit behind some of the other games. There's just newer games out there that do more and easier games to teach social deduction a little bit better than this one does. In this one, there's really just three things you can do in this game: who you're picking when you're the leader, who you're voting for, and then directly lying about the previous two things. I feel a little too much of the deduction is attached immediately to the direct line. The other two things that are happening just don't get paid enough attention to a lot of the times, and they're just so much more important. And as soon as any one person in the group kind of stops paying attention to the voting, who's picking who, then that's immediately going to hurt everyone's kind of overall experience. So you end up with an experienced player not necessarily yelling, but strongly telling some other inexperienced people like, no, you got to do this type of thing, when they're not paying attention to those stuff. And it just doesn't come off as feeling very great to some of the people involved. So a lot of times I just end up hearing more of that yelling than I do of people kind of deducing or figuring out the social side of it. You can also end up on the opposite side of that problem, that when you're playing with a full group of highly experienced players, you sort of stumble into a kind of a meta where you can almost determine roles based solely on how people are playing. I remember I had a guy teaching me this game one time, and like literally on like turn 2 or 3, just from how the votes are going, he's like, oh, I know how this is. And I'm pretty sure he was 100% correct. And that, again, just kind of takes away from the social aspect of the game for me. Finally, this one's a kind of a minor nitpick for me. The theme really doesn't come off too strongly to me. It could literally be any generic good guy, bad guy, which is kind of what the Resistance originally was. And so that's not a huge fan.
Yeah, I can see you aren't a huge fan. Now, first of all, I'm going to agree with you in the fact that, yes, there are other games that I think do this a little bit better. But I am going to go tell you why I'm on the yay side and why I think Avalon is a good game. Now, as one of your big complaints, you said that the direct line is pretty much the game. Well, and you're right, it is. However, it's one of those kind of games that does need a little bit more playing and a couple of times playing to actually understand why you're putting on people on quest, how you're putting people on quest, and you should watch how people vote over several rounds. That's kind of hard for people to grasp the first time they play, even the second time they play. Again, it's one of those kind of games you need to understand that you need to vote no, or watch how people are voting, change your votes up, this and that, to really kind of deduce. But yes, at the end of the day, it does come down to direct line. But when you're lying in a game and you're kind of doing this whole gaming thing, come on, lying is kind of fun. I mean, right? It's really, really good. And it's something that we all enjoy doing. And, when you're doing it for fun in games and all that kind of stuff, it is kind of fun to play that character. But then when you say there's zero theme and it's not thematic, if you don't know the Arthurian legend, then of course you would think there is zero theme. But I mean, come on. They have Mordred. They have Lancelot. What's the Merlin? I mean, how could you? It's very thematic, and if you know it, it's even more enjoyable because you know the evil and the good and the assassins and all that kind of stuff. So it is really, really thematic. But yes, there are games that do it a little bit better. But I really enjoy Avalon. And you like social deduction games too, right, Grant?
I do absolutely like social deduction games. Again, there's just some other ones. Your Secret Hitler is still really popular, really good. Things like Deception Murder in Hong Kong, which throws in a bit more of the actual like having to deduce some clues instead of just having to deduce from somebody lying. That's kind of my crossover there. Same with like the people that play Werewolf. You're really just listening to lies for the most part, and having to deduce that. A lot of people just either are bad at lying or have a hard time trying to read people. I like the games that have a little bit more on the actual game side of things, mechanics that you're bluffing with, that makes it a little bit easier to read what people are doing. And those are the games that I like a little bit more in the genre.
Yeah, and you know what? I definitely have to agree with you on that point because, for instance, with Secret Hitler, you have the vote cards, right? And you can say, "Oh, those are my only options. That's all I could do," or this or that. And the same thing with Deception, Murder on Hong Kong. Like you said, there are actual clues. There is actual evidence. But yes, I would agree with Werewolf and Avalon. Those two types, it does pretty much come down to direct lying because you really don't have sort of anything evidentiary to try to make your decision from.
And that probably falls back to just me being much more of an introverted type person. The people that are those extroverts, they enjoy that side of the social deduction line, figuring it out.
That's what I was talking about, Grant. Yes, come on, it's fun. You're right to be a little gregarious and to lie and to get away with it. I mean, come on, that's really cool because inside you're having a party, right? Like I'm lying.
Yeah, the whole point of the series is to show certain people why they might not like something, and the people that are like me probably aren't going to like this one as they might like a different. Again, I never think any of these games are bad games. We never talk about truly bad games. I think these are very good games that the right group of people can very much enjoy. I don't want anybody to ever get the wrong impression of this series that I'm trying to like rag that a game is bad. We're just showcasing some of the other sides, some of the other views of why somebody might not like one game. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but board gamers are a fickle bunch. So somebody might greatly love something and dislike something else. And that's what we're here. That's what we're here doing, talking about.
That is very, very true. I would agree with you there. So why don't you go ahead and start us off and talk a little bit about the components of the game?
Not a whole lot to talk about here. There is a small board. There's your handful of your roll cards, and then there's some tokens that you move around. Not a ton of components. I've never seen like a deluxe version of this or anything. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward on the components on this one.
Yeah, and you know what? I would have to sort of give a little bit of a warning on it because it is one of those kind of games that when you open it and you take it out and you play the first 1 or 2, 3 times, it's good. It's okay. After that, the wear and tear starts to show pretty quick because the cardboard pieces that you're handing out for the put people on quests, the cards and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of handling here and there. So they are going to get rubbed. I would highly suggest sleeving the cards, first of all. That would avoid nicks and little marks where you might say, oh, that's the Merlin card. That's the Mordred card. Because you have to get marked up. And the same thing with the tokens that you, like I said, to put people on quests and stuff. They get worn too. You may want to what's that spray you call, Grant? You can spray on the things?
I know what you're talking about, and I don't remember.
Yeah, but anyway, there's a spray that you can put on that sort of like laminates them and stuff. You might want to think about using some of that with these type of games. But as you said, there is no deluxified version. I think it would be nice if they did to make these games more durable because the people who play them would probably keep this in their collection for a long time and get played a lot. And I think it would help to just make the game stay fresher a little bit longer.
Yeah, moving some of the cardboard over to plastic, just stuff like that. Because like you said, as soon as you get any little marks, anybody that's playing the same version, the same copy of a game over and over, that's just going to, again, give away information. And that's unfortunate. Like anytime I have that type of stuff in my game, I just have to really try not to pay attention to it. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard not to, but how are you going to ignore when you've got a
yeah.
When you see something, you're gonna and then see, Grant, this comes down to another aspect of the line. What do you say to yourself? Should I let everybody know that I know what that card is?
Yes. You don't play that copy of the game. As soon as you're like, oh, I know what that card is, you're not playing a game anymore. Now you're just cheating.
That's true. That is true. And just so you guys know, so we did, play Werewolf a lot, social deduction game. And even when people come in, Grant, I'm sure you would agree, a Murder in Hong Kong gets played a lot. Avalon gets played a lot. Secret Hitler gets played a lot. People love social deduction games.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're definitely some of our most popular games that we have in the library.
Yes, they really, really are. Well, there you go, folks. There's another episode of Yay or No Way, just to give you a couple of examples why you may like the game and why you may not like the game.
So as always, like us, subscribe on the channel if you want to see more. Let us know down below in the comments, which side are you on here? Are you on the Yay or No Way side? You can always find us here on YouTube under Meepleville's channel or over on our Facebook, Meepleville Board Game Cafe.
Yes, and remember, folks, anytime you're in Vegas, please stop in, say hi. We'd love to meet you, love to see you, and just let us know how you're doing. Take a look at Meepleville. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks, guys.